Okay, hey guys, this is me, Kordaneski, Yankee T News, and I don't know if Jason's going to show up. Tuesday nights are usually not good for him, but he may be inspired. We'll see. And the other guys, they may be inspired. We'll see. And I'm still trying to lure Selena onto the show, but she is proving to be the most elusive female. Nonetheless, nonetheless, we certainly have a full plate of things to talk about. Now, sometimes, that's right, sometimes the events that we pay the least attention to can have the largest impact. Now, what could I possibly be referring to? That's right, the Japanese yen, right? So, as often turns out to be the case, the news that makes us sit up and take notice is a little late, a little slow, a little behind the curve, okay? And that would be the case here with the thing that got a lot of people's attention a few days ago was the announcement the United States was going to help support the yen because it had fallen to new lows against the US dollar. Now, how it's faring against other currencies, I don't know, but it stands to reason that if the yen is not doing well against the dollar, it may not be doing well against other currencies, such as, say, I don't know, if I got this right, the renminbi. There are two currencies in China. I'm trying to remember which one we're talking about. In any event, then take your pick. It could be, what's the yuan? The yuan with South Korea. And we're trading with Taiwan. Who knows? So in any event, the net effect is that the Japanese economy is in trouble and the Japanese government has had to do something. Now, the problem for us is that we kind of woke up and said, well, whoa, baby, what's going on here? Look at this. Man about ready to jump out of ship or something. Cause some trouble. No, yes, that's why we were stepping in, because if they started selling U.S. treasuries, it would hurt us. Now, first of all, let me take a moment to put this into perspective. I wish I'd pulled that chart up. I don't know. This is not a good time. The chart in question is the amount of foreign debt. In other words, bonds, treasury bonds sold by America to foreign countries. Now, by the way, I need to add that it was Alexander Hamilton, one of our founding fathers, who had first pushed for this idea. Others, like Jefferson, didn't believe in things like foreign debt. And I don't think Washington was a fan of it either. But Alexander Hamilton made his case, and even back then in the 17 and 1800s, you could see that those countries, which, shall we say, diversified their debt holdings, tended to do better than those that did not. So that was the case for doing this, and it's been a practice ever since. Now, in the case of America, because our federal spending has increasingly gotten out of control, remains out of control, and in the eyes of many is heading in a bad direction, we find that the other countries are kind of being dragged along for this, and they don't like it. They don't like the idea that they're going to have to somehow support or participate in a weak U.S. dollar, because a weak U.S. dollar will also hurt their economies as well. Now, let me just add, by the way, parenthetically, when the dollar is weak, it helps, it cheapens American goods and makes our goods competitive internationally, so our exports go up when the dollar goes down. All right, that's nice. However, here we had this big deal that I just mentioned was being made a week or so ago about how America was going to intervene. Well, it turns out we've done it before. I think it was in the 90s, at least one occasion where we did it. And there have probably been other cases, other countries in the past. So maybe it's not such a big deal, but it still violates our free market principles, the idea that governments intervene in the economies of another country in this manner. Okay, so still, okay, we're going to help them out. Yep, we're going to help Japan out so they don't have to dump their treasuries on the international market. too bad they went ahead and did it anyway. All right. Now, the part I don't quite follow here is there's a claim. The first claim is that it was something on the order of $968 billion worth of treasuries were sold on the international market. The first question is, what percentage of the total debt holdings would that represent for Japan? Unfortunately, I do not know the answer to that question, and I have to make a mental note to go find out. Now, and then it gets complicated. I'm dealing with this as best I can. We have then another article claiming that, at least maybe I would say in the first tranche, the first round of selling their debt in order to support the yen, it's claimed that they sold $30 billion worth of U.S. treasuries. Okay, well, that's not good, but ladies and gentlemen, I need to add something here. Quiz question. What percent, or let's try it this way, what is the amount of U.S. debt held by the Japanese government? Okay, whether it's paper like 2-year notes or 5-year notes or 10-year treasury bonds. What are we dealing with here in terms of magnitude? Well, the suggestion is that Japan is holding on to $1.1 trillion of federal debt. Now, this would be probably one of their larger, if you look at all the different foreign countries' debts they hold, this would probably be the largest one, but it's not the only one. If it's being reported that they sold $30 billion and they hold $1.1 trillion, kind of sounds like a tempest in a teapot. Only problem is they may not be over. Nonetheless, this has also created a sense of concern in the international market because America is going to have to adapt. And already, so I'm told, it forces us to print more money, which will only add to inflation in our economy. Well, we're supposed to do what? Be able to improve our trade status with other countries? I don't know. I'm getting a little uncertain about this prospect. Nonetheless, this is what we're confronted with. And again, I would like to refer back to the historical component here. All right. The historical component is that it started in, I want to peg it to January. So it would have been around January that I believe Japan, for the first time in a long time, had altered its interest rate, basic interest rate. There's this little thing, it's called, the cheap stuff, and sell it in the more pricey market and make up on the difference. This is arbitrage is done all the time. Is there arbitrage for bonds? Probably is. And one of the things that we've done for a long now, one of the places where there's been a big disparity has been interest rates between different countries. What do they call it? The carry trade? Carry trade. I think it's called the carry trade. The carry trade was a trick, if you will. Yeah, what am I talking about? That is an example. Come on, these things on my screen to pop up. Okay. The hot issue here is that for the longest time, Wall Street had made money on the difference in the interest rates between Japan and other markets, other markets in the world. They would buy, quote, cheap Japanese bonds and then use that money for things that paid a higher rate of return. And so whoever did that was making money on the difference. Well, gee, now if Japan raises its interest rates, all of a sudden that difference disappears, and with it the carry trade disappears. Well, we may not think that's a big deal, but the carry trade for investors is a big deal. And that's gone. Now a source of income for them is gone. Now they got to figure out another way to do it. Meantime, um, so you have on the quote commercial side, you have these problems, but on the debt financing side, okay, they are trying to adapt to changing conditions. And by the way, I guess if somebody were to referee my comments, that would be nice. But I would be telling you that, yeah. If you are going to change the interest rate structure for a country, you're going to be changing a lot of competitive factors, whether it's trade, investment, affecting the inflation rate, as well as budget governments. Yeah, you're going to start creating new problems. So, like it or not, we've had a set of old relationships that have existed that are going away. And now it's taken, 7, 8 months for us to kind of wake up and go, looks like we've got a bigger problem here than we thought. Well, yes, we do, America. Now, you and I may not feeling the pinch yet, but the thing you need to think about is that Japan selling all those treasuries is going to cause our economy to have a bit of an inflation spike. And we're fighting to get inflation down, and then all of a sudden the Japanese government is going to blindside us by doing this. Can't say this is going to end well, because you have China working very hard to go after us. And if you find that one of our allies, key ally, Japan, any future conflict with China is acting like this does not bode well for the future. And I say this in recognition of the fact that if you were to take a look, America is developing deeper and deeper military ties with Japan, even as they are deciding now they're going to militarize. All right, so you got all that going on, and they're hurting us economically because they need to support the yen. I don't know. This sounds a little complicated and messy to me. And so the other thing to think about here is you're going to have these unexpected side effects from the efforts to support the yen. And as was pointed out to Japan, remember, I'm pretty sure China is their biggest trading partner. So when the yen gets weak, their trade with China suffers, and they can't have that. So they're going to have to do things like sell these treasuries, huge numbers of treasuries, in order to maintain a trade balance, whatever it happens to be, with communist China. And we will not be in on that deal, so to speak. So I'm not quite sure where that's going, but I can tell you that this is the beginning of a process that, unless something else good happens for Japan, is going to lead to a whole bunch of other negative effects for America. And it stands to reason these negative effects probably won't be felt until after the midterms. Funny thing, that's right. So maybe this leads to a larger suggestion that we should all think about. That, it's funny. We think in terms of, the things that President Trump has to do. Watch out for the oil prices, gas prices at the pump. And these other things are going to affect who the voters are going to vote for in the midterms. Yeah, all right. But we might want to think about things that are going on in other countries, how we're going to affect them and they're going to affect us. And those things have political ramifications that probably won't be addressed until after the midterm. Now, why would Germany or Iran do something timed to our midterms? I don't know. But it's just when you see these weird things happening, you have to stop and ask yourself, is there some pattern or connection here I'm missing? Yeah, there's something weird going on. All right. So it's called Stay Tuned. We're certainly going to find out about it. All right, so that's my riff on Japan for now. Now I want to do the American shimmy shake. All right, so this is my wise ass response. And some of you may have seen this, some of you may have not. I've been looking in the news for it and I can't find it, but it's like, or let me try it this way. I think, all right, there were two places on the radio. Okay, yes. So it would have been Clay and Buck Sexton and Clay Travis on their radio show this afternoon. I played the first place I heard it. And then the second place would have been on the Jesse Kelly show at WOR. They're both on WOR. So if you haven't heard, as the story goes, there was credible information being that was somehow picked up by what? Our intelligence agencies, the Secret Service, somebody. And I'm not even sure what country President Trump was in. But as the story goes, they felt they had credible information for an assassination threat against President Trump, such that they had to pull a switcheroo. So it looked like he was getting on Air Force One, but, you know, there was a little distraction. Next thing you know, President Trump is being shuffled off the plane, Air Force One, into what? A catering truck? What? Okay, a catering truck, wherever this catering truck was. And then from there, transported to a military aircraft. And then he took his flight from there. I have a lot of questions here, okay? Because, first of all, let's do the first little exercise, ladies and gentlemen. Information or misinformation. Which is it? Was it information to produce misinformation? Or was it misinformation in order to learn something else that involved American information? We don't have any clear answers. You know, this is the problem when we're just given these very, you know, thin, shallow, superficial, brief accounts of strange things happening like this. So let me just point out one thing, for example. I am led to believe, I mean, we understand this to be the way with the military, so I would be surprised if intelligence services didn't do the same thing. That would be their intelligence services as well as our intelligence services, where they would pull what's essentially a prank, all right? And one prank, of course, would be to have gained enough information, understanding about American intelligence services to know, quote, where to push the button. All right, and push the button away. Now we can really see how the Americans react. What do they, in the event of something that should scare the hell out of them, what will they really do? Okay, all right. So, you know, this all comes under the heading of, they always like to say, we can't tell you because it's sources and methods, sources and methods. Well, I don't know. Did we reveal some sources and methods here, or were we parties to some misinformation? It's just a question, just a question. So, you know, this is a classic. I wish Ricky was around for this one. He'd have so much fun with it. All us conspiracy theorists are going to have a party on this one, because there's what you can believe and there's what you don't want to believe. There's what you see as misdirection, and then there's whatever the truth is. And we want to know how this all shakes out. We would love to see. Won't be seen anytime soon, I'm afraid. Okay, so this, so I heard on the radio, these two radio shows, nothing on Citizen Free Press, nothing on Tausi TV, nothing on Iran International, nothing on whatfinger.com, nothing on the Liberty Daily, nothing on freerepublic.com. I mean, my go-to sources, nothing. So they have a story, but it hasn't been reported yet. So there's something really odd about the whole thing. And you know what? I'll offer another thought. This move, this false move, maybe in the eyes of some, is setting the stage to trigger something else. Just a thought. Okay, we'll find out in a few days, I trust, because a lot of people are going to be asking a lot of questions. Just saying. A lot of people are going to ask a lot of questions. All right, I want to move now to the other Shimmy Shake. Well, this would be the Connecticut Shimmy Shake. I talked about this yesterday in the news broadcast. I never know who's listening. I never know. So here I go. Let me introduce it by suggesting that Connecticut may just have its own election fraud scandal brewing on the back burner of the stove. That's right. Iran is propaganda. I think the real one is getting presented as our ally. The real enemy is getting presented as our ally. Well, yeah, how do we deal with this? So here's the problem I have, Eli Benson 148. There is, okay, we can be very clever about this, right? We can sit there, just like I've been talking for the last couple of minutes, and say, there's something wrong here. I don't trust what I'm seeing. I'm thinking of that old Marine saying, never believe anything you hear and half of what you see. Yeah, there's something wrong with this picture. Yeah, we can do that. And we're probably pretty good at it. Still, I think it's fair to ask, what's the truth? All right? What is the truth? So you have to decide what's important and what's not. What rises to the top as something that must, what? Continue, persist, exist, whether it's in the government or someplace else. And then if you can start there, then try to walk back and decide whether or not these things that you're hearing are just so much misdirection. The other thing that's interesting about misinformation tends to be rather interesting. It's like another old saying, better the interesting lie than the boring fact. I've heard this, and I can see how a lot of people think that way. It's how the news thinks. The news. Here I am. I guess I'm part of this group. Never thought I'd do this, but you're always competing for people's attention. So you have to be loud. You have to be provocative. You have to say things that get people upset and make them go, wait, he's saying something important. I can't listen to that guy. I got to go listen to this guy. Okay. But what if he's just telling the interesting lie that got your attention? All right. So it's good, Eli Benson 148, to be suspicious at all times. We have every reason to be. But at the end of the day, you can't be suspicious when you get out of bed. You can't be suspicious about your shoes, unless you're out in the desert, you got to check for scorpions. But no, there's so many things that we have to trust as a part of our daily. You have to believe that somebody didn't wire an explosive to your car. You're going to get it and drive it anyway, right? So you have to draw the line somewhere in terms of what is real and what you trust and where the lies are. And here we go. Okay, figured I get your take on this. Because Ricky and I were talking. To me, it looks like Iran was always there. It's complicated. Yes, it is a complicated issue, but who's to say that the groups you mentioned are just low funded protest groups, Well, let's try it. I have a weird answer for that. Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what I try to do. I do, as best I can. So where do I want to put this? Let's use that famous word. You've heard it, AstroTurf. Nancy Pelosi has insulted the Tea Party movement by suggesting that we were AstroTurf. Okay, so let me help you out here on the concept of AstroTurf. When you have a group of people, all right, and you've got this vast sea of placards, of signs, somebody penciled something, somebody took a shopping bag and wrote something on it. Somebody else got one of those foam boards from Staples and used some magic marker to make that. Somebody else actually had a piece of wood and wrote on it and held it up. Okay? If you got a group of people and they're doing something like that, that would be what I call a sincere, organic protest. On the other hand, if you're at a rally and everybody is holding up the same sign, like, I don't know, let me think, an abortion rally. Yes, they all hold up that same weird oval sign, right? AstroTurf. Definitely AstroTurf. So that's a reasonable measure. Now, the other thing is you have to develop an ear and an eye for this for yourself, okay? I find that when I'm reading various kinds of literature and flyers and things, that I do have to evaluate it and decide, is this sort of, it's not what, you don't necessarily call it misinformation per se, but the way it's written, the way the writing is organized, the kind of reasoning that's being used, the points that are being made, either it fits what's being talked about or not. And let me give you a wacky example. In Connecticut, about 8 years ago, I guess, we had this fight over tolls. 7 years ago, I guess. Yes, the erstwhile Governor of Lamont, the one who's just now rolling up his sleeves, that guy, okay? Yeah, him. Jeez, it's so stupid. Had a proposal to have tolls on the state roads. And at the height of the idiocy of this proposal, there was discussion about 96, I think, 96 tolling places throughout the state. And there was a big map, and you had these red dots where each proposed toll place would be. Route 2, Route 7, Route 8, Route 9, and other state roads. And so, of course, the map earned the title of the measles map, which the Governor of Vermont hated very much. But the point I wanted to make is that you had the proposal. There was an organic pushback from the public, yourself, yours truly included, and the effort was gaining traction. But several months into this fight, all of a sudden, some group shows up. Never seen them, never heard of them. And they were trying to be pro-tolls, okay? And again, we, a paper bag sign, a foam board sign, whatever. These guys, they had, shall I say, they looked like corporate logos, the way their signs were designed. And then they had these flyers, and they're just, they're written in a certain way, and you're looking at them and going, what is this? Okay. And, it just didn't pass the smell test, I'm telling you. So if there was a case for AstroTurf, this was it. And this is what happens all the time. So I am now at a fork in the road, ladies and gentlemen. And I don't know what I'm going to do about this fork in the road. I think I'm taking the fork in the road. Remember what Yogi Berra said. You come to a fork in the road, take it. Brilliant. So I'm taking it. The issue here is, as we've begun to learn, starting with Minnesota and all the Medicaid fraud and the homeschooling, the daycare fraud that was going on. Now we begin to realize that a huge chunk of what are supposed to be non-governmental organizations are nothing more than cutouts for crazy people who want to destroy this country. Cutouts for crazy people who want to destroy this country. And there's a lot of them. We're talking tens of thousands of them. Yeah, I forget. 50. There's at least 3,000 nonprofits in Connecticut. There's 30, 40, 50,000 nonprofits, a lot of them based around Washington, D.C. Okay, I bring this up because the concept of AstroTurf often has some connection to a nonprofit organization. So as far as I'm concerned, that whole area has been grotesquely abused. People who hate this country use 501c3 and 501c4 status in order to screw us over good. And we're just now beginning to wake up to it. Plus, by the way, using the C3s and the C4s together to raise money and do all kinds of nasty, dirty, underhanded things. Right. So that I had to go down that path. Okay. So anyway, I want to get back to talking about Connecticut. We had this horrible accident where two police officers off duty, riding on a motorcycle, got hit by this woman who was drunk and on cannabis, who veered off the road and hit this couple in Danbury, Connecticut. They died instantly. I guess for that we would be thankful, I guess. But so as it turns out, this woman, Melissa Ramirez, was there. The police see her. She's injured, taken to the hospital. So she's, cited and charged, and she's still in the hospital recovering. And now there's a little problem, a tiny, tiny little problem. The name, Melissa Ramirez. Well, okay. So the police do what the police do. They run a search. Oh, what is your name? Could I have your identification, please? They run the search. They even have the number for her driver's license. Okay? Now, just to add the critical part to the story, the police officer, the investigating police officer, I guess, gets the digital printout that shows her face and the profile and all the other necessary information that they needed to have on this woman. This is where it gets a little ugly. Okay, so he has this thing, goes to the hospital, looks at her, looks at the printout. It's her. Okay, it's this baby lives in New Britain. Okay, turns out, based on their information, a little more research, she is an illegal alien. She is registered to vote, and she has voted 3 times. Let me say that again for emphasis because it just feels so good. She's an illegal alien. So she has a DO license, driver only, which now it's kind of BS in how it's handled in Connecticut, but she's got that. She's registered to vote. DO license. You're not supposed to be registered to vote. State of Connecticut says, oh, yeah, we wouldn't do that. Oh, yeah. Senator Blumenthal, oh, yeah, that's against the law. Oh, yeah. Susan Bicewicz, former Secretary of State. Oh, yeah, we wouldn't do that. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. It'll turn out that Susan Bicewicz is very much a part of this fraud. Just give it time. In the meantime, what's the other tidbit here? Okay, so we've got that she voted illegally. Meantime, in the other corner, we have Comrade Stephanie Thomas, our so-called Secretary of State. No one more incompetent than her. So it becomes interesting because now comes forth this information. And rather than let it sit, rather than say, oh, we need to look into this. This is a problem. We can't have people who are illegal on our voter rolls. No, we don't do that. No, this is not how Stephanie Thomas conducted herself. No, she lied through her teeth, all right? She denied everything. She said the information was wrong. She accused the police of manipulating the information. You gotta be kidding me. Rather than own up, rather than say there's a problem, rather than say we gotta fix this, she denied the whole thing. Well, this gets interesting, Secretary of State Thomas. How long can a partisan hack like you keep lying and denying things? Okay. Well, we're going to find out. We're going to find out big time because I just want to share with you a comment by my favorite news announcer in Connecticut. That would be Reese on the radio, where he said, that there's an investigation going on. They have a friend. He's a private investigator. His nickname is Adam 12. It's cute. Okay. But the report is that he has found this nonprofit organization somehow closely allied with the Secretary of State office concerning elections. And his preliminary comments, and they are preliminary, indicate that it's gonna be ugly. Very, very ugly when all the facts come out. So Stephanie Thomas, you better lawyer up big time. Oh, may want to throw William Tong into the mix too. It's just a random thought. Okay. I've been bitching and moaning for a long time about what's going on in the state with respect to I can't make my air quotes big enough and I can't make my eyebrows go high enough. Election integrity. Yeah, BS on Connecticut election integrity. It just, all right. So reset it, and I have the same reaction. The way that Stephanie Thomas is reacting to this information is totally out of character, totally unprofessional. Hey, Michael.
Hey, Dad. So, like I remind you,
yes,
I see Mason from 10 to 10:30. Then
right.
Afterwards, get something from like Waltz, and then drop me off at
it'll be great.
My apartment. While I wait. For,
we'll have a fun time.
Mary Kate at 11:30 to 12:30.
Okay.
Then can you bring it back here?
Yeah.
All right. Just make sure you know.
Okay. That's Michael going back into Hogwarts. Okay, come on, Ricky. Where are you? Now you had to show up after I had my rant.
All right, I'm sending the bad news bears to Japan, baby.
Yeah. What, Michael?
It started raining. I checked your windows. They're all closed.
1 second, Court.
Thanks. Okay.
They're all closed.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure that they are. Okay, we're good. Okay, we got DJ Ricky in the house, baby, in the house. When able to. Oh, that stupid paper that is the great. Yeah. Look, World War III has been underway for quite some time now. All right. Look, every time we look at these conflicts, these big international conflicts, you always find some kind of quote precedent, some antecedent of some kind, right? There were other events. Look, let's just take Japan, okay? And then we denied them the oil, and there's this stuff with shipping steel and all this other crap that was going on before all these hostilities broke out. Okay, in the meantime, they're planning on this. All right, that's just Japan. But Germany, we could talk about trading with the enemy and how Ford was helping out, Germany, okay, and Russia. Why am I going off like this? You want to talk about the Greater Israel Project in World War III. All right. This is worth the time and trouble, but I'm not thinking that tonight is the night. If the DJ Ricky ever gets back. I really would like to take a lot of time. Look, we have to get past all this conspiracy theory, Illuminati crap, okay? We have to look at the history of these things. We have to look at the events that are associated with the history, and we have to be honest about what happened and what didn't happen. Meantime, yes, so we're looking at this. Oh, it's all superficial information. People behind the scenes were pulling strings. The puppet masters. We want to find the puppet masters of this whole thing. Bullshit on the puppet masters, all right? You need to understand the trends. If you want to say something about the future, you have to understand the past. How many times have we heard this?
It's a war of good versus evil.
I got that. Okay, good, fine. But I'd still like a blow-by-blow account of what, the punch that Satan throws, and then Jesus gives him a roundhouse kick. And yeah, I'd like to understand these things, okay? And in some weird way, as we sit here, I know this seems unusual to claim, but maybe we have some small role in this too. So that all said, all right, I just want to finish my point. I keep talking about parallels between what's going on with Iran and the run-up to World War I. I see a number of disturbing parallels.
what was it? General Wesley Clark or Wesley Clark?
Sure, Wesley Clark. Sure, I remember him.
Okay, I remember right after the 9/11, he mentioned in a testimony that they were going to go to war in the Middle East and attack 7 countries, with Iran being the last one.
And well, would you like to understand the reason why?
Go ahead, give me what you've heard. And
have you ever heard of a gentleman named? Have you ever heard of a gentleman named von Clausewitz?
No, I haven't.
So von Clausewitz would be right up there with Sun Tzu as one of the greatest military strategists of all time. Okay?
I'm listening.
Okay. One of the precepts or principles that von Clausewitz put forth is that when you are confronted with an allied force, several entities working together against you, your strategy is to go after the weakest ones first and save the strongest one for last. And even though we could say that how we did in Iraq and Afghanistan was not all that good, we're still pushed into a position now where we do have to deal with the strongest. Fair to say that Iraq would not be an ally to Iran. Afghanistan is kind of an ally. There are a lot of people from Afghanistan who go to Iran, but I would say that the ability of these groups to support efforts by Iran are not great. And then in addition, all the other conflicts with Bahrain, UAE, Qatar, Oman, Yemen, all these things, I think when you weigh them out, do not help Iran. They do not help them. Okay. So in some sense, Iran is slowly becoming isolated. So this would be consistent with Clausewitz's strategy. If you're going to go for the strongest, make sure you got the others out of the way. Greg?
I think Albert Pike mentioned all this stuff. Okay, he was the one that talked about World War I before World War I and World War II, and has talked about World War III and how it would needed to be started to bring in the new world with a new world order government, and the final piece would be the destruction of Israel and Iran to bring this all in.
All right. So first of all, is Eli Benson a feminist?
Not that I know of. Why?
Because let's see here, I missed one part of this.
I gotta grab a towel. 1 second.
Sure.
Go ahead. I can hear you.
All right. So we got this. When able to come back to this. When able to. Yeah. Okay. Meantime, his story, like history. Remember, feminists go, history is his story. So why was that?
Whoever conquers, they rewrite history. This is known. That makes sense.
Okay, but that's not the only history that's available. So let me give you an example. What happened in America? We had an American Revolution. That's right. We remember there was an American Revolutionary Army. That's right. They were fighting the King of England. That's right. He brought some British soldiers over. Okay, so what you had, in another way of framing it, were the patriots versus the, anyone want to throw a word in? Patriots versus the loyalists.
Royalists. Okay.
Loyalists.
People that are loyal to England versus people that didn't want to have anything to do with England.
Right. Okay. So now I'll just mention in passing, as the end of the American Revolutionary War came, the loyalists were very concerned that revenge would be taken upon them, etc. So what did they do? They boogied on out to Canada. So you'll find that a lot of people whose roots trace back to loyalists live in Canada. Just saying. But the point I want to make is that, okay, so we won. We got to, quote, write the history. but historians are very interested in what the Loyalists had to say too. So there is a Loyalist history of the American Revolution. Or to give you another one, in the fight in the I'm trying to think of the Constitutional Convention, right? You had Federalists. Remember Federalists, right?
Yeah.
And
going back to some of this stuff, I'm like, hey,
Okay. And on the other side, you had the Anti-Federalists. All right. Okay. So understand that the Constitutional Convention was an admission that the Constitution, the first Constitution, was a failure. Right?
If you say so.
Well,
I'm listening.
All right.
Story here.
I don't know what the Loyalists have to say.
I don't know where to interject yet. I'm just listening.
Okay. So the Constitutional Convention saying, well, this first Constitution didn't really work out very well. And so now the argument was, well, if that's because the government is too weak, we have to make the government stronger. But how much stronger? How much more centralized power and authority should there be?
Sorry,
okay.
I think that was me feeding back.
All right. I know. Sounds like too much technology to me.
No, it's just feeding back from the tablet.
I see. Okay. So Federalists were more in favor of a strong centralized government. Anti-Federalists were not.
Right. Okay. So summarizing this is what you're saying.
The Federalists won, and so they got to write their history. A little harder to find the Anti-Federalist history, but it's there if you look for it.
Right. And I think this is what Eli was alluding to, is whoever is in charge, they're gonna get rid of the past. It's 1984. It's 1984.
Okay. Well, you're implying that the information has disappeared and is not accessible to us. I beg to differ. The information is accessible. It's information that does not comport with the dominant narrative.
Okay. All right. I thought we were going to go on to something like juicy, like the primaries tonight.
That's juicy? Oh, God. Juicy in a stupid kind of way.
We can come back to all this. Let's get to the good stuff, I don't want to bore the audience with this right now.
Well, that depends upon whether the audience has any interest in what's going on. So, first of all, there was all this drama, since you brought them up, there's all this drama.
So who were people who were the people on the ticket tonight?
All right, for governor, you had Josh Elliott.
Okay.
Our Democrat Socialist of America Light, Lite.
Never even heard of that person.
You never heard of Josh Elliott?
No, I heard of Josh Elliott. Yeah.
Yes, but I'm saying that he has been considered more of a leftist.
Commie, socialist.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right.
All right,
so you gotta remember, I don't follow a lot of this, but I'm gonna tell you. The reason why Ned Lamont keeps winning is because he's such a puppet, and they got control of him. If they're gonna make him win again. It's a selection, baby. And was it Ned versus Josh? Is there anybody else in that mix tonight?
No, as far as governor's concerned,
That's gonna be Ned Lamont. I can tell you right out of the gate. And not that I'm a fan of the dude, but he was on PLR the other day.
First of all,
he sounded so good.
Yes, I know. All right. Can I tell you a stupid Ned Lamont story?
Yeah.
Okay. Not quite as funny as the way you're putting it, but here we go. We
Sorry,
had
turn over here. I'm reading the comments.
Yeah. All right. So wait, I just want to keep track of Eli here. It's a show. That's right. It's history that they want. Okay, we already dealt with that. It's a show. I'm not anything I'm not anything court. I'm just for the truth. Well, ditto. But that said, okay, we have to accept that whatever truth we think we've got, it's still only a part of the story. Right? How do you know?
Right. Well, it's like the debate about how do I explain this in simple terms? What this place is a perfect example. Or were there dinosaurs? All right. Well, at one point I said no, dinosaurs didn't exist, and I have to rewind on that.
Yeah, I would say so. We should take you on a trip to Wyoming or Montana.
I don't think that. Well, no. Were there reptilian life form, intelligent? Possibly. But the dinosaurs that they're selling you at the Peabody Museum is an absolute lie.
I wouldn't know that. And all right, tell me how it's an absolute lie.
It's that's made. It's not even bones. It's not even real. It's made of paper mache.
Okay. All right. So
it's a made-up story.
This is the thing. The direction you're going in here, then all these other stories are false. The stories about the kid who's wandering out in the desert and he stumbles across a big bone that turns out to belong to some brontosaurus from 500 million years ago.
Well, how do they know it was called a brontosaurus? Who made up these names? Did he just go, oh, that's a brontosaurus? You know what? That bone right there, that's a brontosaurus bone.
Well, he didn't know. He didn't know.
Oh, I'm just saying, Court. It's a story. And this is where I'm kind of slap backing it to what I think Eli was saying. It's a story. It's his story. It makes sense.
All right. Either his story has some.
I want to wind it up. I want to get into Ricky mode and just boom. Let's go nuts.
Yeah.
I just don't know which way I want to go with. We go, Jared Kushner. Oh, what's that guy up to? All right. And I got a whole lot. I just don't know where I want to go with it yet.
What are you drinking tonight?
No, I just, believe it or not, I was sound asleep.
Oh, you're sound asleep.
Yeah, my wife woke me. Hey. Ding, 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 ding. Weren't you supposed to talk to Court? Because the show out here got canceled due to the rain. We had a downpour at 7 o'clock.
Right. Well, it found its way here.
Yeah. Oh, what? Oh, Spokane, Washington. Oh, Spokane, Washington. No fires, and that's making the skies all bad air quality again. But hey, it's not a microwave that is lighting these houses up on fire. Nope. It can't be that. No, it can't be that. Hey, that town over there just wrote some law in that said they'll never have data centers, and whoops, hey, look, a week later, it's all gone to ash.
Every town that says no to data centers is going to burn down.
No. See, they can't use their eminent domain, so they just burn them out of their houses. Take a nail, put it in a piece of wood, stick it in your microwave, and watch that piece of the wood burn.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so look how all these fires are starting. Oh, the metal goes up. It just spontaneously goes up in flames. Okay. So they're using, and where could these microwaves be coming from? Well, they're coming from those cell towers that are put all the way around it. They say, oh, these are for your cell phone, so you can have the information. So you and I can have these talks wirelessly. What they're doing is they're manipulating the air around you. We live in an area of all this around up on top of us.
How did you do in physics?
Who effing cares? It's not important. I failed school court. Is that the answer you want? The teachers. I didn't go to public school, so
Oh, you didn't go to public school?
No, not till high school. And that was only 4 years of hell. And the last 2 years, they had me work in the library.
Why would you work in the
Nice
library?
place to work when they don't want you mixed with the regular people of society. Yeah, my junior and senior year, I used to basically it was like going to work. I would report in at like 7:30,
Yeah.
and I would stay at the library until 1 o'clock.
Okay. And what
And
did you do? Well, stack
well,
books?
I did a lot of repair on the audiovisual stuff. I was
Oh, I see.
I was an electronic tech wizard. We'll call it that. Okay.
Right. Okay.
And that's how I learned how to build a lot of things.
Okay.
They wouldn't really give what do you say? Not assignments. They were like, oh, we need this done today. Okay, you got it. Sure, no problem. Boop, boop.
Mhm.
I had my own little office. It was cool, man. Like,
Right.
for 2 years, and put away the books, the micro slides. Took
Mhm.
care of the. We had a black room where I had to do develop pictures for people, and yeah, it was I had to do. Sometimes the football team would need me to go out there and videotape from way up at the top their football games so they could rewatch those football games to make better plays.
All right. There you go. There. Now you're doing something useful.
Like I said, I didn't fail school because I would have not have gotten one of these. Where is it? Hold on.
All right.
Oh, I just kicked my water under the table.
Oops.
Uh-oh. I got to get that. Yeah. Oh, my thing is eating up my headphones. Yeah, I'm going to have one of these, Court. Oh, look at you putting up a chart. Yeah, there you go, Court. I got it.
I can't read it.
Yeah.
Oh, you're proof that you graduated. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. This is one of many.
All right. Now this chart here should make us feel good.
All right, I gotta zoom in on this and see what you put up here. Complete cohort fertility of political orientation USA. 5-year birth. Oh, is this about birth control?
Well, it might be birth control. All right. So maybe liberals are better at birth control than conservatives. Maybe that's the idea here.
This isn't okay. This is interesting. I've never looked at this at this angle.
I came across this, and believe it or not, this was actually published in Nature magazine, one of the top science publications. Not some bullshit rag somewhere. No, this Nature magazine.
Left of center, middle, right of center. All right. So green is middle.
Right.
The red is left and blue is right. Okay.
And then now you look at the y-axis, it says mean number of children. So number of children born per woman.
It is so freaking hot down here today.
Okay.
You know what it is? It's muggy. It's not that it's hot. The air conditioning's on.
Okay.
But I'm in the middle of distilling water, and that mofo kicks off a lot of freaking heat.
All right, so the fun part here is the dashed line.
Mm-hmm.
The dashed line represents what is called replacement level.
Okay, all right. This all makes sense to me because, I have read about the great culling. And, I think I talked about this before.
Oh, yeah.
In the average, because I'll let these numbers go out there, but I do believe 2.7 million Americans die a year.
It's 11 million.
Is it 11 million now?
Yeah, no. Here's the thing. If you go to your typical almanac, right, and you have these sections in the almanacs that like to collect a lot of statistical data to show you basic stuff, like birth rates and death rates.
Yeah, no, I know what you're talking about because I talked about this, not with you, but this was like I want to say very early 2020, before they shut everything down. And I was having a conversation with someone about this.
Okay.
And I had the numbers in front of me, which did show how many deaths happened per day, and which was interesting.
Right.
Then I broke it down by month, and then I broke it down by year, and then and I even broke it down by there were months, January, February, were always the highest amount of deaths.
Sure.
Every month within the year,
right.
And then I had the stats with everything that had to do with how many children are being born in the United States to match, so, it's supposed to equal out. But
right.
if you have all these deaths and then nobody to replace you with birth, that changes the dynamics in the numbers. And this is also where I came up when I understood the topic called replacement theory. Yeah. So instead of new births coming in, they bring in people, the immigrants, you will call them, or.
All right. So as you're stumbling into that subject, this is going to really enlighten you. Okay. Okay. That you see the dashed line, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. The way to think about the dashed line is where the birth rate is at the level of the dashed line, population neither grows nor shrinks. It stays the same. That's what that dashed line means.
Okay.
All right.
That's even keel.
All right. Now, so when it goes below the dashed line, that's a die-off.
Without replacement.
In other words, the
replacement fertility on the top says 2 to 1. So yeah, you know what, that makes sense. No, that
2.1.
Okay. Oh, I thought it was a ratio, but I was going to say every family would need to have 2 children,
right,
to keep what you're talking about, that dash, equal.
Okay, but now, the 0.1 is lost deaths due to disease, accidents, you name it.
Yeah. No. We're talking about, as what I heard a new term thrown around lately. They go unalive.
Unalive?
Like saying, they're dead. They go, oh no, they're unalive.
Okay. Well, yes, you're right. No, people do this weird. Liberals come up with these wacky words. Yes.
The first thing that popped into my head was he, she, me, them.
Jeez. All right. Let me
go ahead.
All right. So, in the meantime, I need to point out that this particular chart, okay, only goes out to 1982.
Yes.
But a trend is clearly developing here. And the trend is that the liberals are dying off and the conservatives are growing.
Okay, well, that's pretty obvious. If you follow the left, and I'm sorry if I hurt anybody's feelings out there,
yes.
But 2 men can't have a baby, all right? So there you go. Yeah, right? So that plays part of it. Or you get, 2 chicks. You're missing the turkey baster there, girls. Okay. I'm just giving my observation here, Court.
Yes, it's a good observation.
All right. So it's pretty obvious why we can see these numbers dropping over here. All right. Because now there's no birth. Right. But then they're going, let me go get some foreign baby in the human trafficking market. Hello, Bill, Hillary. Can you hook me up? Sure. Okay. All right. But.
All right. So now the point is, it follows that for liberals, this is bad news. So obviously they had to do something desperate, like bring in illegals who would vote for them illegally.
Yeah. Well,
This
again,
is what drives it.
the replacement theory.
Right.
Yes, this is nothing new. This is
But
remember what I forget who said it.
replacement for dying liberals.
I
Replacement for
know,
dying liberals.
but man, I gotta get a real microphone to do these things in here.
Yeah.
And I have in here all the time. But
The chart shows it.
no, I see it on the chart. I'm not disputing the chart. What I'm trying to say is the people replacing you, they're doing this on purpose to overtake your country.
Yes.
They do it from the inside. Look who currently is in charge, right?
Is bringing illegals in an inside job?
Yes, it is.
That's kind of
Currently, let me explain this one to you. I was at
Sure.
an establishment. I'm not going to say where it was.
Yes.
And the person went to pay. They couldn't speak a lick of English. And they open up. And I know that it's not a regular credit card. It's an issued card because they have to type in a code. They had a wallet full of these things. Where did they come from? Who's giving them those cards?
Well, I'd say that's worth finding out.
I already know.
Oh, who's giving the state?
The government, yes.
All right.
And this is what they did in the early years, the early 1900s with the immigrants in New York.
They
They
gave
did the same thing. They gave them apartments. They gave them everything they needed. And then all of a sudden, Mr. Jones, well, no, Mr. Abba,
Yes. All right.
you have to go. You need to go to the voting poll now, or we will stop your food and kick you out of this apartment. You're in your whole family. And they go down, they do it. And
Okay, where is it? All right. All right. Hold on. Ward politics. Okay. The Democratic machine in urban centers, notorious in their effectiveness when it comes to elections.
I just remember where I saw this played out.
Yes.
Who's the guy that's from India? not Cash. I want you to go back. The guy that did time. He did the Obama movie. He did the Hillary movie. He got put in jail for giving one of his friends money, and they put him in jail.
Oh, are you talking about Dinesh
D'Souza? Thank you.
Yes.
He did the piece that explained exactly what I'm telling you about.
Okay.
So if you go find it, I think you can find it in I believe it was in Hillary's was it in Hillary's America? I don't remember the name of the movie that he did. I know that the last one he did was with the 2,000 Mules, and he was explaining how the voting system is with those the ballots that can't be proven that they were by a person, but they could have just been delivered and dropped, and I forget again.
Anyway, so there's something strange about this chart that we should stare at for a couple minutes.
The green?
The whole thing.
Okay. Were you talking about the spike that's in the early 1900s right there?
The peak of the curve seems to be around the 1930s. So America's birth rate was at its height.
But you also had a lot of immigrants coming in at that point. Remember, there was the whole.
Okay.
Right. Think about that.
All right. So now it's after 1937 that we see the fertility rate going down, and then.
Well, isn't it interesting? Right at the end of World War III. Sorry, II.
Oh, Freudian slip if there ever was one. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. So if you're looking at that, right, and
okay, so the problem I'm having here is
where's 1948?
Okay.
That's interesting.
All right. So the thing is, so the baby boom, almost all of the baby boom. This doesn't make any sense.
No, because you had an influx of immigration in that peak right there.
Okay, but
remember that,
World,
and then yeah.
But also after World War II, you had the baby boom.
Yeah, but this is showing death versus newborns, and there was a lot of death from those.
All this is, the bottom is time. That's all that is time.
Yeah, no, I'm reading it.
Okay, and then the y-axis is birth rates over time.
You're always going to find the conservative family having more children.
Yeah, we find ourselves in this.
They believe that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. Period. There's no.
Good start. Okay.
Right. Let's make that. And they typically will have a minimum of 3 children.
Right.
Okay.
So far, so good.
All right. Where my aunts and uncles, there was how many of them? I gotta count this one out. Hold on.
All right.
3, 5. 5 on my father, just on my father's side, and my mother her family was 6.
Wow.
Okay.
Busy holidays.
Huh?
Busy holidays.
No? Everyone either some are dead, and some they don't live out here anymore.
But when you were younger, I mean, wouldn't there have been Easters and Christmases where everybody got together? Not so much.
No, because everyone was all over the country.
I see.
So it wasn't like there were family reunions that were insane. I didn't even know some of my cousins.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So the take-home message: this has gotten worse for the liberals.
The middle, I would say that would be myself and Irene.
Okay.
The green line, because we only had we had the one daughter. That's it.
Okay. Well, isn't that more like down here? This down here is 1.5.
Well, you usually need 2 to replace you because there are 2 of you, and you're only replacing 1 of you. So, I'm definitely saying that we fall into the green line right there.
So I'm confused. So there's
because the green line is middle, right? And this is the group that is only having maybe 1 child.
No, it's not what that's not what the y-axis says.
We're just below it. So it takes 2 to replace you. If you're only having 1, you're going to be just below the line. The lesbians and gay dudes, they're going to be way down because there's nobody. It's a zilch, 0. Makes sense. Look at it.
Okay. Well, so I had to show this to you.
And thinking about it.
I've got something else I'd like to show you.
All right, hold on. I gotta shrink this back down to normal.
Okay. Right. Now, the next thing here, this is a reminder to the audience, which will be setting up our segue to the last subject for the evening, which you probably heard about. This is a bullshit chart, says Evil Empire. Wait, who's Evil Empire?
Darth Vader, dude.
All right, let me try it this way. Are you personally acquainted with Evil Empire 4466?
Say again?
Evil Empire 4466.
446.
Oh my! I'm sorry, I've been ignoring you, dude. All this stuff you're suddenly piling in on. Let's see here. Oh boy. Okay.
There's somebody in there typing a lot of stuff.
The Zionist Epstein controlled Trump is fighting for the
Operation Popeye. Yeah. Yep.
Zionist word.
That was the that was the weather control. Yeah, I know. Where they just made it rain, and raining. Right.
Okay. Who's the drunk guy making no sense? There you go.
I'm actually drinking water right now.
Yeah, some helter skelter all over the place, making no sense. Well, Yeah, by the same people that put Fauci in place. And then you broke, what was this? And then you broke it down. You didn't have a clue what you were
I do have an IQ of 78. Thank you very little. That's why I let other people
Sure.
talk.
Okay. You heard a new term. You have no idea what it is. What is that new term? What? What did I miss here? Ricky, what you're trying to say is that you're not smart enough to express it. There you go. No sense. Made no sense. You never made a point. Yeah, 4,000 elephants. Bullshit chart. Well, it's not a bullshit chart. Okay, it's about as straightforward as it could possibly be. Okay, time. How are you going to turn time into bullshit? I'd like to know.
He's right about I'm looking at what he wrote with the Planned Parenthood.
What did he say about Planned Parenthood?
Oh, that was to
kill black folk.
Yeah. What was her name? Margaret.
No, Sanger, Margaret Sanger. Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, I read about that too. Let me just tell you, I remember this well. It was a show in which you had Jon Stewart, the wacky Jew, and this guy who was pro-life. And they got into a discussion about Margaret Sanger. Now, Jon Stewart, being the good liberal that he is, only had kind things to say about Margaret Sanger. That was until the gentleman quoted a few things that Ms. Sanger said that indicated that she was about as racist as they come. And her racism extended to having a plan for killing blacks.
Well, not only that, making it so they never have.
Yes, sure. They're sterilize them. Absolutely.
Sterilize them. Yeah.
Yeah, that was her. And so, this was an embarrassing moment for Jon Stewart because he's so enlightened, because he's pro-choice. Okay. And then this guy lays it on him and says, pro-choice because of who? Based on what? Doing what? Yeah, anyway, so you can see where I'm landing on this. So, was the guy, I thought it was a guy with common sense. I'm not sure. Question mark. Okay. Too much. And you sure you don't know this guy? Evil Empire 4466?
No.
All right. Okay.
I don't
showed up.
I usually don't watch the comments. And I just, for those that are just tuning in, I had
So Mr. Evil Empire 446
like 45 minutes ago. I was sound asleep and my wife woke me up. She was like, hey, aren't you supposed to talk to court? I'm like, oh yeah.
Yes, right. Anyway, so he asked, where did I get the chart from? It was, like I said, it's from Nature magazine. Okay. I don't know how you feel about Nature magazine, but for people who are, quote, into science, there are two publications for which you have the ultimate respect, even though they too have gone south and gone rogue. That would be Science magazine, of which I have many back issues here, and Nature magazine, which I don't have quite so many back issues.
What, you don't have any National Geographic? Remember, you get to see all the boobies.
Oh yeah, those are in a special collection somewhere else. So I don't.
That was a young kid's early version of Playboy magazine.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and it was the real deal. No posing, no special lighting. No, that's it. That's the real deal right there.
I never understood that magazine.
National Geographic?
Yeah.
Of all people who travels from one corner of the state to the other, and you don't understand National Geographic?
No, not. I never read it. We just looked at the pictures.
Okay.
It's kind of like Playboy.
Got it. All right. So Evil Empire 4466 weighs in and reminds me.
Oh yes. Oh, I absolutely believe that one. Zion. You can see. There we go. The Zionist movement.
Ball.
Yeah. No, that's a good call there. Somebody's keeping me on track out there.
Well, if she'd been around, she too would have been in Bohemian Grove. Yes. So there you go.
Worship the owl. Hey. Oh, 1 second. I'm actually gonna.
Yes.
I'm gonna have a bud. I'm gonna put my water away,
All right.
and we're gonna go get a Budweiser. I'll be right back.
Disguise that.
You entertain the crowd. I'll be right back.
Sure. Okay. Well, so I think I've beat that whole shimmy shake thing to death. And we should probably move to the best one yet, which I did talk about earlier, by the way. And I'll wait for Ricky to get back, and then we'll jump on it. These people cannot be trusted, but this is where we find ourselves. And it's great for us here to be able to talk about these things and exercise our First Amendment rights. See, Nature Magazine. Oh, Jesus. Dude. Well, let me think about that for a second. These science magazines have two parts to them. The editorial, actually three. There's the editorial, the news, and then the actual research papers. To call the actual research, which, by the way, is about as arcane as it gets. And when Ricky comes back, I'm going to grab something as an example. I'm going to see Operation MK Ultra. Okay. Of course, yes, but not everything that they do. Let me try it this way. In our fine nation, we have, roughly speaking, about 500,000 research scientists. 35,000 of those 500,000 are just involved in biomedical research. Okay. Now, Evil Empire 4466, do you wish to tell me that all them little people who be doing things like trying to publish in the top science publications in the world are all subject to MK Ultra? I just don't think so. Anyway, he's trying to push my buttons. In this
The distiller's on.
The distiller. Okay.
No. Irene, stand right behind
Breathe. Yeah, okay. I'll take a deep breath, but hold on. I'm going to still make my point.
Oh, look who's in the light.
Hold on.
I got girls dancing.
Is she doing a striptease back there?
I don't know what she's doing.
Hold on.
Oh, they can't see me.
No, Court just disappeared into his green screen.
What happened to him?
Yeah, right here. Hold on. Okay. So this gentleman, obviously, he's trying to. Hi, Irene. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right. So we have a new friend here, of identity unknown, whose handle is Evil Empire 4466. Yeah, he's going to get a beer. Okay. All right. And by the way, we have not received one dime or 1 penny of advertising fees, promotional fees from Budweiser for that. This is all on our own. So there you go. But Budweiser,
I have a shameless plug. I will be in Marlborough, Connecticut Thursday.
Marlborough, Connecticut. Okay.
Yes. With the Stevie Nicks experience.
Yeah.
Where there's a lake. I shouldn't say a little lake. It's a pretty gigantic lake out there, and we are going to be doing one of our shows. I believe it's 6 o'clock start.
All right.
No, it could be a 7 o'clock start because it's in the middle of the week.
All right. Do you do these shows like in January?
Yeah, but they're indoor. Like, yeah.
Okay.
Obviously. No, hey, let's everyone bring your heaters and shovel snow. Now, usually in the wintertime, Kinsman Brewery out in Southington is a spot that we do a lot of shows.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Great place. Gigantic room. Where else do I do shows indoors with them? Anthony D's in Milford is known for winter shows.
Okay.
I'm just trying to think of the indoor venues.
So I need to yank Evil Empire 4466's change.
I love the name. It's Darth Vader, dude.
Okay.
He's on point. I can see he's
All right,
keeping me.
I'm going
He's
to-
keeping me on my game right here.
All right, so I'm going to read some propaganda to you, Mr. Evil Empire 4466 from
Edward Bernays.
from Science Magazine. Okay, he wishes to suggest that that Science Magazine is somehow an MK Ultra project. Okay, so let's go with this one. Trypanosome doublet microtubule structures
John.
reveal flagellum assembly and motility mechanisms. Yes. Oh, and it was published in China, by the way, but it was put in Science Magazine. Oh, yeah. Hey, is China involved in MK Ultra?
Huh?
China involved in MK Ultra?
I think people are all MK Ultra.
Sorry.
Let me give you an example.
Yes.
If you were born a slave and told you were free your whole entire life,
Yes.
do you have the mind power to escape?
Frederick Douglass.
Who?
Who is Frederick Douglass?
Is he the one that said that quote?
No. I'm just asking you. You don't know who Frederick Douglass is?
No, I know Jason Douglas.
All right.
I didn't have enough
Alert,
time to wake
alert.
up.
Oh my God, dude. Okay. Our history matters. Just saying. Okay. American history means something. Okay, I will tell you. With
Oh,
all
John,
the
it's this, hold on. John, it's the Stevie Nicks experience.
Yes.
And if you go on my YouTube channel,
Yes.
just type in DJ Ricky Smith, no space. You'll find my channel.
Yes. And you get to listen.
Yeah. And like one of my last videos was we had a show in North Haven.
Yes.
And I took a glimpse, and you'll hear the music of Stevie Nicks done. It's a production, and it's done perfectly.
Okay. Well, there's only one reason it's perfect.
Because the lady that is singing the band is an actual witch, but we don't talk about that, Court.
But no, wait a second. But Stevie Nicks was a gypsy.
No, right.
Okay, so
The girl that
gypsy,
sings is a
gypsy,
practicing. Listen, the girl that fronts, and she's like Glinda the Good Witch.
Oh, a good witch. Now I'm supposed to feel better.
Yeah,
I don't think so. Okay.
I'm just saying. Or
All right. The reason it's perfect is because you're handling the audio. That was a compliment. Okay.
Okay.
Just throw that in
So
there.
let's get back to where we were.
All right. Frederick Douglass. Okay. Frederick Douglass. Now, let me try another one. How about the abolitionists? Do you remember the abolitionists?
It sounds like somebody that does a lot of beheading of people.
No, that would be the other way around. No. Abolitionists were opposed to slavery in America, as well as other places. But we had a number of people in America. I would say, you could find abolitionists going back to the 1700s, but as a social political movement in America, I don't know. I want to start it around 1830, 1840.
Oh, hold on. John wanted me to finish the thought. So if you were born a slave and told you were free, do you have the ability to realize that you are a slave?
Yes. That's why I said Frederick
If you're
Douglass.
told your whole life,
Douglass
your whole life is a lie. No. So what I'm saying is everything you've been told in your life is a lie, right?
What lie?
And then do you have the mind ability? This is what MK Ultra is. Everything is a lie. Do you have the mind ability to break out of that lie? Does that make sense, John? Is that better for you?
I repeat, the answer is the same. Yes. Okay. And it isn't just a question of what you can know or not know that tells you whether or not you're a slave and will always be a slave. It's also a question of, I'm going to say, moral character. Okay. The ability to draw a conclusion about your relationship to the environment. that's basically going to say, I'm not going to be a part of this. All right.
I'm not giving consent.
Yes. How many slave rebellions were there in the South in the 1800s?
I think we're living in one right now with the flock cameras. That's a rebellion.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, what's the story with Sarah?
I don't know. She has not gotten back to me. I know that she's. You want to know why? I think she's gotten so busy with this September 14th. They're doing it again. They're gonna raid Milford Town Hall again.
Oh, wait. So there's another hearing.
Oh yeah, September 14th, and this time they're gonna make them sit in there for hours.
Okay.
Hours. She wants hundreds of people standing outside waiting to come in, and they're gonna torture these because they can't leave. They have to stay there for public comment till every one of them. So this time they're going for 8 hours.
All right. Well, I got to give her credit because that's probably a better idea than mine. My idea was to park a tank in front of town hall.
Now, listen, it is, and I told you it didn't make sense. Yeah.
The tower,
they made them. They tortured them. I watched for 3 hours, and I had to leave. I could leave. They had to sit there until every person.
Oh yeah.
And this time they're coming big. They're going big this time.
Can they take a pee?
No, unless they go. I don't know how town hall meetings work, but. Do they say, "Hey, we need to put this on pause for a minute"?
This rate. Wait. First of all, just to be clear, are all the people on the board for this town of Milford, are they all men?
Aldermen.
Are they males? X-like chromosome.
I believe they all are, but I could be wrong. I have to look it up.
Okay, which is by lead into somebody needs to be stationed in the restroom, ready to give it to them when they have to take a piss.
I could go a very long time without having to take a
Anyway,
piss.
I got to respond to something here. Eagle Empire said, best concert I ever went to was an experience Hendrix. Yes. Yes. When you have people who can do Hendrix, yes. So let me just tell you a story. So there I was, being in a rock band, learning how to play. And that's right, I wanted to play leads like the good guys. I was trying to copy Eric Clapton. I was trying to copy Jimi Hendrix. And so there it was on my cheap little crappy turntable, trying to learn the lead for All Along the Watchtower. What an incredible piece of work that was. Yes. So, yes, Hendrix, hell yes. So I had to get this. The MK Ultra's cover program started in the 40s. I thought it was the 50s, but 40s.
No. It got called out in the 50s and 60s. They had to admit that they were doing stuff to the American public without their consent.
Okay, but what was the real genesis for MK Ultra? There had to be some evil mastermind working in some government agency, not the CIA.
Well, come on.
Up with this idea.
The U.S. government is so guilty of so many things against its citizens.
Yes.
All right.
No argument there. But if we're just talking about MK Ultra, everything has to have a starting point. All right. And was it?
And John, look up
MK
Naomi too.
Idea? Yeah, I'd like to know who came up with it first. Television. Yeah. What do they call it? TV?
That was me, Court. While you were telling your story, I was responding back quietly.
Oh, I see. Okay. Got it. Yeah. All right. So,
man, I'm ready to go now. I'm an hour into this now. I'm ready to go. I'm up. I'm awake now. See, I'm awake.
Yeah. Well, we got about 20 more minutes based upon.
See, I'm MK Ultraing the audience with my ever-changing color lights behind me tonight. Woo! Watch this. I'm hypnotizing you.
All right. How about the emancipatory? We talked about the abolitionists.
Oh, you're going to emancipation. Oh,
abolitionists, all right, who were fighting to end slavery in America. And there were the Quakers, who were very much like abolitionists. So you had
Aren't
these
the Quakers out in Pennsylvania, Court?
yes, those Quakers.
Would that be your Amish now?
I don't think Quakers and Amish are similar at all.
Okay.
No. I mean, at best, Quakers are Amish light. Okay.
Okay. All right. I'll give you that.
Yeah, but they can be very friendly, nice people. The Amish.
I don't have a problem with the Amish. They built that thing that's not this thing. If I ever do a broadcast outside in the yard, you'll
Yes.
see. Came from them.
Oh, we've been down.
Beautiful gazebo. Beautiful gazebo.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta check this out, baby.
We're out here in Connecticut, John.
Okay, so you've got some. Let's see, Amish. All right, there are currently no Amish churches or settlements in Connecticut, though their proximity to existing Amish communities and agriculture make it less unlikely. Because every so often you'll see there's an Amish name, for example, Yoder, Yoder. Well, the Amish people have the name Yoder.
Yoda.
Yoder.
I know, but I want to say Yoda because it makes me think of a little green guy that had all the knowledge.
So a little green Amish guy. All right. That's possible.
Just saying, Court.
Right.
Because isn't it interesting the name that you said, and then in the movie Star Wars,
Yes.
they had a little green guy that has almost a very similar name and had a lot of knowledge. Remember, knowledge is power.
Yes, I certainly agree there. There was just an Amish point, an amazing video where these Amish carpenters had just built a barn. Okay. They lifted it up together and moved it.
Yeah, you know why? It's called electromagnetic positive charge. You
No.
change the positive charge of an item, and you can lift things that are way heavier than you can think.
Do you understand how anti-technological the Amish are?
They don't. They know how to. Well, this brings me to that weightlifter guy that carries a fake broom that weighs like 200 effing pounds. Right? He puts it down, and the guy's trying to pick it up. What is he doing? He's taking the plasma, the electronically charged plasma, and he has the ability. Not everybody has this, but they have the ability to change the electronic positive charge of an item and make it a higher charge that makes it easier to lift it. See, there's a problem. There's some people believe in this thing called gravity. All right. But I don't think that we live in a world that is held together by gravity. I believe that we might be held together by a ground that is negative and the air above us is positive. And by changing the positive charge above you, you have the ability to make something that you would think is heavy, because if what its charge is makes it snap. Take two magnets. What happens? They snap together, right? But if you change the charge of the item that's supposed to snap down, you can make it all of a sudden lift up like this.
All right.
Or blowing your mind a little bit here.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right. I'm trying to go with you on this. Mass doesn't matter.
Not when it comes to changing the positive charge of the item.
So whether it's a pound or 100 pounds, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Look at the guy that moved a whole entire castle in Florida. How do you think he did it? He did it by himself.
Oh, I remember this story. Yes.
Okay, so how do you think he did it? And I know you're smart enough to know. Look what Tesla was doing with electricity. Look how we're communicating. We're sending electronic particles, microwaves.
Yeah, but you're describing something
through the air right now.
Yeah, but you're describing something that's so categorically different from all of this.
It's okay.
All right.
I like being your nut. I like being your wild card on these shows, Court.
All right, go for it.
Because some of the things I say to some don't make any sense. And a lot of things I don't finish off because I need other people to kind of look into it and say, what the hell was Ricky talking about? And then they kind of look into it and then they experiment with the things that I say. And then what happens? Holy crap! My tomato plant made 5x tomatoes. How the hell did that happen?
Yes, I'll have to do that for next year. Although with hydroponics,
I'll show you geometric shapes. Oh, damn, I just did the Illuminati. Oh, look at me. But there's a certain angle. Why do you think that they do this? And there's a certain angle. And if you take all the copper and you build this thing that's like this, kind of looks like this with copper,
we're
right?
talking about pyramid energy.
Yep. And I believe that we're going to go, I think it's 52 degrees, right? And then you put this, and it's made of copper, and you put it down over your tomato plant. Your tomato plant is going to give you 5x more product than it would have if you didn't do that.
Well, I'll have to take a look at my tomato plants because what I have are green tomatoes now that are about to ripen. So I don't know. It might be too late.
Court, I will show you on a camera, and I will bring some copper, and I will bend it in certain angles and make one on one of these streams. All you need is all
right, Eli Benson.
Copper. All right, you don't need thick copper. You just need some copper like this. Okay, you can buy this stuff in the spools, and you can make, and you could prove to yourself. You could put this stuff, and it helps you absorb the plasma that is around you.
Absorb the plasma.
Huh?
All right. Well, hold that thought. Eli Benson 148 now has decided to check in again.
Hi, Eli.
Yes, and he said, remember when Eric mentioned certain spiritual texts? I'd verify those. The only spiritual texts to which Eric would refer are the accepted books of the Christian canon, and he would not refer to the Apocrypha.
Eli, type in. Now, I didn't know anything about this dude. I believe his last name was spelled Felz, and he had ancient Bibles.
Well,
and was about to make them go digital. See if you can. I don't know because I'm on the stream. It'll
all right. So
long. No. The reason why I'm telling Eli this is because Eli will be able to find it in a hot minute for me.
Okay, let's see here. Not the way Tesla's energy was generated.
No. Tesla's energy was wireless. He was using microwaves.
All right. Well, microwaves. All right. We got to be careful about this because there's this thing called the electromagnetic spectrum, and microwaves represent one narrow slice of that spectrum.
What? Oh, Court, you're what happened here? Court, you went mute.
No, I just made my statement and I was waiting for your response.
Oh.
Microwaves are one narrow part of the electromagnetic.
Well, yes. Well, I mean, what are we using? Anywhere, a lot of devices using 2.4. Your original microwave is 2.4 gigahertz, right?
Mm-hmm. The original, it's a spectrum. So it's going to be from low to a high. And then when you get outside the low and the high, now we're talking about other types of electromagnetic phenomena.
Correct.
Right? Radio waves, for example, are not microwaves.
Oh, they're microwaves too.
Okay.
Different waves. So you have a quarter. So there are different antennas. All right. So we have a quarter wave antenna. We have a 5/8 antenna.
Mm-hmm.
I believe there's a 9/16 antenna. I have never used one, but I know of my waves.
Yes.
All right. Some people are going to call them, you have the one that goes just straight up, or you have the ones that mount off the sides.
Yes.
Those are some of the ones that you see with your cell towers these days. My quarter wave, you can use low power and hit far because it goes up and it spreads like an umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When I use a 5/8 antenna, it's directional.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just saying, if
Mhm.
things
Yeah.
are directional,
Sure.
who's to say that that can't be used to
Well-
target people?
There are different parts to this, and we're running out of time. And Eli's just jumping into stuff. Was referring to texts that are King James version stamped. That's where it gets screwy. He says the text had to be manipulated. No, this. Oh God.
Yeah, even John. Yeah, I see. Yeah, John, I think that's where the guy was going. Oh man, hold on. I wish I had to. Hold on. Give me
Yes.
1 second for you. Hang up the line here. Let me see if I can't find this. Really
What
quick.
about the Ethiopian Bibles?
The Ethiopians Bibles?
The
ones that- The people that eat. Well, here's another thing. Are people eating people and they don't even know it? There's one to go for. Hold on. I'm gonna come down to. I'm gonna find this really fast. I want to find this guy's name. I believe his first name was. Oh, I gotta
Okay,
find the channel. Hold
Right, this
on.
gets crazy because there was.
Oh, I found the channel. Hold on, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you the gentleman's name.
Yes.
Joe Flez. Felz.
That's Fells,
Fells.
not Fled.
Flez.
Fells.
So, I
More Budweiser, please.
more Budweiser gets me really. Let's go.
Yes.
All right. So this guy has older books and they're Bibles that are written from different places that nobody even knows about. And he
Okay.
was about to release these things, but here's the odd part about him.
Yes.
Freemason.
Right. So just quickly, Eli.
Now, are there good Freemasons and are there bad Freemasons?
Well, KJV means King James Version. Okay. He was asking, what is the KJV? Who was?
Oh yeah, King James. King James the second version. Version.
All right, so-
Version. And this is what brings me back to this guy. What's his name again? I gotta find it again. Joe. Joe Felz. Do a search, type it into YouTube or anything, and see what pops up.
All right. All right. All of this said, let me give you another example of the problem we're having with this discussion.
We're all over the map.
God bless her. My brother-in-law's daughter got married this weekend.
Oh, is that where you were for a week? Where
Yeah.
you couldn't do the
Right.
show? Okay.
So I had not seen her in a long time. The bride looked beautiful. And then I noticed that on her right arm, there was a rather large tattoo.
Mm.
Okay. And so I looked at her and I said, what is that tattoo? Are you ready? She said, Cersei.
Cersei.
You don't know who Cersei is?
No. Just
Okay.
give me a Reader's Digest.
Okay. There's this movie that has come out now. Everybody's excited about it called The Odyssey.
Okay. Again, I don't watch any Hollywood crap anymore. I caught myself on
The Odyssey is part of the great Western literature.
Okay. So what does it symbolize, Court? Let's go right there.
All right. In the story, Odyssey is about the journey of Ulysses finding his way back from the Trojan War to his wife back in Greece. And it took him 20 years to do it. The gods kept sending him in all sorts of places, including an island that had this bad witch on there named Circe.
Okay.
looking at her and asking, look, we know the Odyssey. We know what kind of a person Circe was. She was not a nice person. She turned men into animals, little things like that. And she has a tattoo of this witch on her arm. So her response was, Circe got a bad rap.
Okay.
Now, let me deal with this for a second. You're taking a story that's been told for, let me think now, somewhere around 2,000 years. And you're telling me that they got it wrong. Now, all of a sudden, your telling of this is to suggest that Circe was a good witch. And the
Why would
only
anybody-
reason she was a bad witch was because of predatory men who attacked her. I'm going, wait a second. And I had to look this up. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, there is a feminist version of the Odyssey, a feminist version. And she's convinced that the feminist version is the correct version.
Well, that has to come back to our MK Ultra.
Thank you.
talk here,
Thank you.
Court.
Okay. All right. This kind of crap hits us all the time. What are we supposed
Yes,
to do?
it
What are we supposed
does.
to think?
You have to have the ability to see it, though.
Yes.
That's once you have the ability to see through
Miller
all
Lite.
the propaganda,
Miller
it's so
Lite.
much easier. Court.
Miller Lite. Yeah. About you, man. I'm a Genesis man.
Hey, everyone has their choice.
Okay. All right.
Budweiser is the best pee in town. All right, there you go.
Yeah,
It looks
so
like pee, tastes like pee.
Oh, by the way, you know there's reconstituted pee, correct?
Yeah. Well, they told you. I heard this one a couple days ago. The reason why there weren't toilets in older buildings is because people were peeing in bottles and re-drinking their pee. I don't know if there's truth to that or not.
No. Look, there are some cultural things like in Taiwan, but the reality is if you do that crap long enough, you're going to get very sick. Not a good idea.
Like those people drinking blood. Oh, Whitney Houston came up today because they released a Barbie doll, right?
Whitney Houston Barbie doll?
And I'm like, come on, guys. We all know that Clive Davis got her, put the hit out on her.
Right, you're going to have to explain this to me. All right, we
Don't worry about it. Save it for tomorrow. You know what? We're going to save this one for tomorrow.
Yeah.
But, some people are like, what do you mean? She drowned in a bathtub. I'm like, yeah, let's really think about this because where were people? Oh, and we can go into some dude I never even heard of, Perez Hilton.
Perez Hilton?
No, hold on, wait. Let me.
You know, clearly your talents are not being fully utilized by virtue of being on this radio station.
You know, we had, listen, I still laugh at Ed Lamont calling in the other day.
Well, you're going to have to work on some bits for him too. Okay, let's see what we can come up with. Crown Royal. Oh God!
Look,
Homer's The Odyssey. Yes,
we'll all have some fun. I have an IQ of 78.
right.
The problem is my memory doesn't. It's full. I need a new memory chip. Oh, where are we going with that one? Oh.
The one, Elon might be able to set you up there.
Eli's a good kid.
Okay, maybe I'll get to meet him sometime.
I got to meet him. I gave him. He wanted to. He said, "I want the big boy Coors Banquet beer," and I said, "You got it." And I said, "We're gonna meet at a show that we're doing in Stratford, and you and I are gonna have a beer together." And
Good.
I came through on my word. Didn't I, Eli? I came through on my word.
All
We
right,
had
there
a
you go.
beer. We enjoyed the show. And then he smoked weed with one of the freaking band members. And I'm like,
Okay.
oh, what are you doing? You getting high with the band members? What are you doing?
Obviously, he wants to get on stage with them.
He,
So,
wa- he told me he wants to be a sound tech. I'm like, yeah,
What?
you don't want to be a sound tech.
No,
It's
sorry.
not as easy as it looks.
yeah, no, kid yourself. Anyway, we are getting late, so we better call it a night here. We want
All
this
right, Court.
out in public.
Good talking with you.
You bet.
Great subjects. We jumped all over the